Hello and welcome to another episode of the SMEFocus show, brought to you by FactoryNOW TV. I'm your host, Chris Greenough, and in this series we will focus on SMEs within the British manufacturing sector. Every week we will discuss and analyse the opportunities and challenges for the industry in these unprecedented times. I've worked in the sector for over 26 years and I'm CCO at STE Technology, one of the leading manufacturers of pressings and assemblies in the UK. As you can hopefully appreciate, this show is very much for manufacturers by manufacturers. My guest today is Helena Flowers, Managing Director and Owner at Andel Plastics. Welcome, Helena. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Long time no speak, and certainly long time no see.
Yes.
We're doing more and more of these virtual meetings now. They've become the norm, so to speak.
Yeah, our new normal.
They are. So tell me about Andel Plastics and particularly your role within the organisation.
So Andel Plastics is 45 years old this year, and it was started by my parents, and I've been there 24 years now. We're precision injection mould tool makers. So we've got our tool room within the factory. Yeah. And then we've also got a moulding facility. So we do all the injection moulding. We have a class 7 clean room where we can do packaging and assembly of medical devices. There's about 25 of us here at the moment.
Okay, so it's good. So in terms of the clean room service, I've seen that on your website. Has that given you an edge in terms of providing customer support and also medical support?
At the moment, yes. So we're putting together like single-use packs, or we do a lot of work in allergy testing. So it just gives us a nice clean environment to get everything packed. We have full traceability, and we're hoping at some point to put a moulding machine in there as well. So to be able to actually offer a clean room moulding service, which I think will just give us an extra edge on what we already offer.
Fantastic. And obviously since March, the impact of COVID has been the major factor facing most businesses. In terms of the last 9 months, what has it actually taught you in terms of your business and indeed the people within it?
So the main thing it's taught us is what good, loyal sort of customers, employees and suppliers we've got, really. So we've all had to obviously work very hard together. We've actually had quite a bit of time. Obviously, we had about 2 months of some people on furlough and a bit of a quiet period where some of our customers closed. So we could look at our processes, improve those processes, and put in some new working hours. And our staff have been so flexible and so good with us, and the company's working a lot better for it now. So it's not all been doom and gloom.
Fantastic. It's good to hear. And how have sales been from sort of the end of March up until this current period?
We're very lucky that we do supply the medical industry. So that went up in March and April. Yep. Pretty much everything else dropped off. So we do construction and things like that. And then about 6 weeks later, everything started to pick back up. August in particular was very busy, and actually in September we had our best ever trading month, and we're still pretty busy, and the forecast at the end of the year takes us right up to Christmas and into the new year, all really busy.
Fantastic. So that's the busiest month in the whole term of trading?
Yep, whole 45 years, September was our highest turnover by a considerable amount as well, not just by, a little bit.
And is that certain sectors or certain markets or just across the range?
It was pretty much across the range. Some signalling products and construction products have gone up. The signalling particularly, I think, to identify zones, and they do sort of the till lighting to sort of say, yes, you can come to the till now and things like that. And then we do some work for gas meters and water meters and air flow control. And I know some of that was put in at the Nightingale Hospital. So that sort of gave us an increase as well.
So really on the back of COVID, you're seeing a lot of your products are now very needed, health and safety wise. So you actually got a growing market.
Yes, we have. Yes. And bizarrely, another one of our customers makes record turntables. They're the old fashioned vinyls. And they've actually, well, they are popular at the moment, but they actually, I think they sold as much in a 3-month period over lockdown as they would normally in 12 months.
Absolutely. Yeah, you see lots of different markets now because people are obviously at home, they're shopping online. We're seeing a an influx of orders now for white goods, because obviously now the weather's changed. People are no longer in their garden, they're now in the house, redoing the bathrooms, need a new cooker, new boiler. So it's just reacting to the market and seizing the opportunities as they come along. Yeah,
exactly. And we've seen a bit of reshoring as well, people trying to obviously get their supply chains back in the UK, which obviously we all like. We're not even involved in PPE, but so we're getting a lot of tooling work and stuff coming back as well. So yes, it's been quite an interesting 9 months.
So you've got a very varied product range. Can you tell me about how you maintain those customer relationships and push sales and grown those relationships under COVID restrictions? So lots of your customers, as you said, have been very loyal. How have you maintained those relationships over the last 9 months?
We've done probably a lot of what everybody's done. I think we've gone on to Zoom meetings and things like this. Phone calls are very nice, but it is nice to be able to see people face to face. And because I'm usually quite sketchy when we're designing products and I want to hold things up and show them. So I found that probably the easiest and best way to do it. And obviously we can invite the whole team now, even people working at home. I am in my workshop and you know, I can get the technical guy or the guy from the tool room all in one room, where sometimes you probably wouldn't take that many people on force to see a customer. But you can online. So in some ways it's actually been quite good. Testing this, because I wouldn't normally.
And what in terms of 2021? So we got Brexit coming January, continued issues with COVID that we see for many months to come. How do you see the next 12 months panning out in terms of UK business for Andel?
I think we'll probably still be able to maintain what we have. We've got some good projects in the bag. Quite a lot of what we've seen is people who've obviously had an idea for a product and they've taken lockdown and being on furlough actually to develop it. So we've got 4 projects here, which are just individual people's, not part of their normal jobs, who've funded their own tooling at the minute, and then the products will launch next year. So that's quite interesting, because that's a lot of individuals just doing something small. But then we've got some big engineering products coming in as well to do metal replacement. Sorry, Chris. And then sort of launch whole new ranges of products. So we're working on one which we've done a big design project for, which is probably been 18 months in the coming. And that should launch hopefully in March. And that's without, at the minute, as I say, we're seeing a lot of tool inquiries that would normally straight go to China. Now they're actually hovering around the UK. So I think the prospects are quite good.
I do as well. And when you talk, you're looking at replacing some metal products with plastics. Doesn't sound great to me, but I think we all need to understand that there's materials that have specific places. Plastics have their place. Metals have their place, lightweighting, all these things. We need to work together to come up with the best design and the best compromise. So that might mean a metal and a plastic products coming together. So we need to do more of this networking, more of this relationship building, and also reshore as much as we can. So you touched on reshoring and some products coming back to the UK, which for me can only get better with Brexit. Yeah, I think so. And with the delays in the supply chain that we've seen and the sort of air freight costs and everything, so the metal replacement we were working on, it was coming from China. It was sort of a marine brass, and that's now not going to be. We've sort of, like you said, actually we've combined it with sort of a pressing and plastic to make sure it's still got the strength and everything that it should have. But that's all going to be sourced from the UK, just to give that security. Yeah. I think there's certainly more buyers, more designers looking at the different options, and rather just going abroad per se, they're looking at the supply chains in the UK, which are robust. There's many SMEs who are willing to invest time and effort and indeed monies, but they need to know that there's going to be business out there. So if anything, 2020 has been a bit of a disaster for many people in manufacturing. You look like you've actually done quite well out of it because of the products you make, but also because you react quite quickly and you redesign products. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. And I think when people don't understand the supply chain because they haven't used it, if they come to me and say, I need to do this, I can point them in the direction and put a collaboration together rather than them having to do like the really hard legwork. If somebody came to me with a product, I could say, oh, that needs a metal pressing, that needs a brass insert, that needs, film coating, and that needs painting. I probably already know the market for them, and they don't, unless you've sort of tested that before. Some design engineers just don't know that because yes, their standard thing is we source from China, we must go to China.
Or they always say that part is always made as a composite, and it's always going to be made as a composite, because they don't know the benefits of plastic or benefits of metal in that area. They're just a composite designer. So we need to open the eyes, and hopefully a show like this is going to help promote Andel and help promote what we can do in the UK.
Yes, I'm hoping. I mean, I saw on the news the other day about this 70% of PPE is now coming from the UK, whereas before it was 1%. And that's because manufacturers have, like you say, adapted really quickly, turned things around, invested the money and got straight onto the case. And we can do it. We know in the UK, we're very good at adapting and doing that.
Fantastic. Helena, good to speak to you. Really good to hear about Andel and the fact that you're absolutely flying. And let's look forward to 2021. Brilliant.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of another show. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to meeting more of our brilliant SME manufacturers next week. If you would like to get in touch with the show with a comment, a suggestion, or to appear on a future episode, please email us tv@mtd.media. So from me, Chris G @SDE, goodbye, see you next time.